What's up, you guys? It's Cody. Today we're going to be talking about passive income because, who doesn't want a little bit more passive income in their life? I'm going to be sharing with you 5 different methods that I've used to build passive income in the amount of $4,874 every single month. You know, passive income is one of those really hot topics that we've got right now because when you've got monthly income coming in every single month that's not tied to the amount of hours that you work, it gives you a ton of freedom and a lot of opportunity to do other stuff with your time and probably stuff that you'd rather do anyway. You know, I think passive income is such a hot topic right now because people are tired of having to trade the time that they put in at work for the amount that they get paid. You know, passive income really gives you that opportunity to bring in money and not have it be tied to how many hours you put in at work. So really what I'm getting at is who wouldn't like a little bit more passive income in their life, and who doesn't want to learn a few different ways that you can make this possible? We're going to jump into it right now. The first one on our list, I actually just kind of want to get right out of the way because it's such a small amount and I don't want to waste a lot of time on it, but I just want to tell you a little bit about what it is and how it works. So number 1 on our list is actually a small amount of passive income I get from putting my money into work with peer-to-peer lending. I opened a lending club account a few years ago thinking that it would be a great idea to put a couple $1,000s into work and have it produce money back for me every single day. Now, if you don't know, the way that peer-to-peer lending works is you make small investments in other people's loans, and they can use these loans for anything from paying off credit card debt to taking a vacation. And because you're investing only just a small amount, you're actually putting money into many different loans from different people, and each time they make a payment, depending on when that payment's due, you get a little portion of your principal and some interest back. When you've got so many loans, they're gonna have different payment dates throughout the month. So when these people are all making payments and you're getting a little portion back every single day, each payment that I get back is about 50 cents to $1. So it does take a time to build up to a pretty significant amount, but it's just kind of nice to see that money rolling in. So like I said, this isn't a very big part. After all of the money that I've put into this, which at its highest was probably about $4,000 to $5,000, I've actually only gotten about $10 a month back after I account for all of the loans that have been written off. Unfortunately, when people take loans in this manner, not everybody is going to pay back their loan, and so you do have to take losses as the investor on those loans every once in a while, and those loans just get written off and you don't get any of your money back. So unfortunately, a lot of these loans were written off early on, so I didn't even have a chance to really collect any payments. So as you can see, I've only made about $10 per month after I've written off those losses and accounted for the money that I've gained in interest. That's actually the exact reason why I'm pulling out of peer-to-peer lending and not going to be doing it anymore. It's just too high risk. It's hard to get your money back. They do have a secondary market where you can sell these loans if you don't want to hold them any longer, but for me, I'm just going to hold on to them. We'll see what happens. I've only got about $1,000 left in the account, so we're just going to see what happens. I'll try and get that money back, and I'm going to move it over into a different investment strategy. The second form of passive income that I've got right now is through dividend stock investing. I've invested in some stocks in my portfolio that are spitting out dividends usually every quarter, and if I average it out, those dividends are paying about $21.67 every single month. Now again, this isn't a huge amount, but it's actually something that I'm going to be growing in the future because I've really learned a lot more about dividend investing, and I think that the market is kind of at an all-time high, and who knows where it's going to go. I'm not a stock market expert by any means, but I do believe that investing in some of those blue chip stocks that are spitting out dividends every single quarter is going to be one of the safest investments you can make. And who doesn't love passive income? It gives you an easy way to earn a little bit more money that you can then reinvest into the stock market. With the exception of some company stock that I earned last year, all of my stocks are currently sitting in a Roth IRA, and I plan to grow that account as much as possible, which is going to be a little bit hard because I'm coming up on the income limit to be able to contribute to that, but I'm going to continue to invest as much as I can into that Roth IRA until it's at an amount that's high enough that I can then transform that into a self-directed Roth IRA and use that to invest in real estate. That's going to be a topic for another day, but it's something that I plan to do just because I'm such a big believer in real estate, and I really like the cash flow, appreciation, the depreciation, and all of the other benefits that come with owning real estate, which you don't really have control of in the stock market. So when it comes to these dividend stocks, I've actually only got about 21% of my stock portfolio invested into these types of dividend paying stocks. As I mentioned, my portfolio is only about 21% dividend paying stocks, and so that's why the number is quite low. Right now, the stocks that I own that are paying dividends are Apple, Coca-Cola, Shell, Dominion Energy, AT&T, and Vodafone. I think these are big solid companies that have a track record of good numbers and they've been paying dividends for a while, and so I kind of expect them to continue paying dividends in the future. If I can sell some of those stocks that aren't paying dividends and move that money over into stocks that are, I plan that I can get about 70% of my portfolio as dividend paying stocks. If I do this, I'm expecting about a 4.2% yield on these stocks that I'll be able to collect, and that will average out to about $80 per month in dividends. I've actually been learning more about stocks recently because I think that these dividend type stocks are actually really powerful, and it's a great way to kind of park your money until you're ready to invest in real estate. If you've just got a little bit of money, or you're just getting started, or maybe you're just earning, a smaller amount of money and you don't have the ability to quickly add money into savings, which you can then move into real estate, I think that stocks are a great option to get started with in investing. And like I mentioned, although I know a lot about real estate, I don't know quite as much about stocks. So I've been learning a lot about this over the last couple of months, and I've actually picked up on a lot of new information from here on YouTube. One of my favorite stock guys here on YouTube is Andre Geek. He's growing like crazy here on YouTube, and it's because he's got really great content. Shout out to him. He's really helped me with seeing some of the powers of dividend and some things that I didn't know about these dividend paying stocks, and it's really kind of leading my decision to buy more of these stocks because it's going to help me to increase my passive income until I'm able to transfer that money over into a self-directed Roth IRA and actually buy and hold real estate in the IRA. All right, so now that we're past some of those first smaller sources of passive income, let's get into the bigger numbers that you really want to hear about, because you're probably wondering, well, Cody, if you're making $10 from Lending Club and you're making $20 from dividend investing, how are you making $4,874 every single month in passive income? I'm going to tell you, number 3 on our list is rental income. So when it comes to rental income, right now I'm earning $2,621 every single month in cash flow, which is pretty much entirely passive income. As mentioned, this is the best form of passive income because I really don't have to do anything for it. Of course, I have to manage the property and I have to make sure that all of the tenants are happy, but as long as that's happening every single month, that money comes in and it just kind of gets added to my bank account. And guys, before I go any further, I don't want to say that I'm just saying this to flex. I don't want to just say that this is, my way of bragging about what I've been able to achieve with passive income. I really just kind of want to show you guys what's possible. With a couple of really good, solid real estate deals, you can make immense amounts of money. I'm going to be breaking that down for you here in just a second. But like I said, this isn't just to brag about what I've done. I just want to give you guys some different ideas and perspectives. I get asked about this a lot, and so this is just kind of my way of saying, here's what I've done, here's what I've been able to achieve in real estate and through these other sources of passive income. And I've been able to build my portfolio to this level because of that in such a short amount of time. And so I just want to be able to show you guys what's possible if you really put your mind to it and you really focus on this sort of stuff, that you can absolutely change your life in just a couple of years and with just a couple of really solid deals. So right now I've got 3 income producing properties, and they're split up between multiple units. Each one's a little bit different. So I'm going to break it all down for you here. The first one on our list is the townhome that I bought. It was the very first place I bought at 21 years old, and it's been a fantastic rental ever since I moved out. If you don't know the story of that, just a quick background. I've moved into the townhome and made one mortgage payment before realizing that paying a mortgage by yourself really sucks. At the time I was paying the whole mortgage and it just wasn't working. Almost half of my income every single month was going to make that payment. And so it only took one payment to realize I didn't want to do that. So I got a couple of roommates and they moved in and started, paying rent to live there. And I was living for super cheap at that point. So I was really excited about that. And ever since I moved on from that property, almost 4 years ago, I've just rented out the bedrooms one by one instead of as a whole collective unit, just because it's kind of been easier that way. And the very first roommate who moved in is actually still living there at the property today and still paying rent. So that's pretty cool to see that. So I've just kept it as a by the room rental, and it's really just kind of worked out for me. So my total rental income on this property between all 3 bedrooms is $1,345 per month. This breaks down to 1 bedroom at $400, 1 bedroom at $460, and 1 bedroom at $485. My payment for this property and all of the properties I'm going to mention here, the payments include taxes and insurance, of course, as well as the loan. So my total PITI payment for this property is $697 each month. Because it is a townhome, I do have an HOA payment, and that comes out to $199 per month, which is kind of nice. You know, it sucks that I have to pay that. It's almost $200 every single month, but they do cover a lot of the maintenance on the outside of the property, and they've kind of kept it up. So those are things that I'm not gonna have to worry about as long as I hold on to this property. In just the time I've owned it, they've replaced the asphalt on the streets, they've replaced the roof, and they put a whole new fence around the entire complex. So they've just kept it nice, and it's helped push the values up, and it's being maintained pretty well, so I really can't complain about that. In general though, I wouldn't recommend investing in townhomes or condos just because those HOAs can be a little bit unpredictable and you don't know what you're gonna get. So I try to stay away from those now, but it's not always the worst thing. Sometimes you can find somewhere where it really works, especially in the newer construction. You know, typically those properties don't need a lot of repairs, and so it's easier for those HOAs to be managed properly. And last but not least, the other payment that I've got on this property is the internet. Because I do rent it by the room, it's a little hard to, you know, charge one of the tenants for the internet and the other guys don't. And so instead of just splitting it up, I cover the internet for the property, and it comes out to about $65 per month. So that gives me a net cash flow of $384 on this property. Jumping to the second property that I've got that I use as a rental, it's actually a duplex. So I rent it out from a top and the bottom. The top is a 3-bedroom unit and the bottom is a 1-bedroom unit. My total rental income on this property is $1,965, and my mortgage payment on this house, which I just refinanced actually and got an amazing rate, comes out to $1,328 every single month. And again, that's including the taxes and insurance. So that gives me a net cash flow on this property of $637 every single month. And my third rental property is my absolute favorite because it produces the most cash flow, and it's been a great solid investment for me. It's actually a triplex, and so the total rental income between the 3 units there is $3,400. And again, my payment, including the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, comes out to $1,800 per month. And again, I just refinanced that loan as well because this loan program that I found here locally gives such amazing interest rates on refinancing these investment properties that I just had to do it. So it's really helped out with increasing my cash flow on the properties. And just because of refinancing those last 2 properties, I actually increased my cash flow over $700 a month because I was able to drop my payments so much. And in the past year, I've added about $150 of additional rental income to my bottom line because of those rents going up. Now, unfortunately, my expenses do go up as well. My taxes go up every year, it seems like. Insurance goes up, and you know, there's gonna be repairs on the property that have to be taken care of. So of course, that's not all profit, but it's just nice to see that over the long term, I can expect those rents to continue to increase year over year and continue to add more cash flow to my bottom line. So if you did the math already, you can see that the cash flow for this third property between the 3 units comes out to $1,600 per month. So when you add up the cash flow from all of these rental properties, that's how I get $2,621 per month in net cash flow every single month. Now, before I go any further, I know there's gonna be somebody who comments down below and says, well, Cody, you're not accounting for any vacancy or any repairs in these numbers. And yes, that's actually true. I generally don't account for these numbers in my net cash flow because of a few reasons. Here's why. So when it comes to vacancy, our market is so strong right now that I really shouldn't have any months of vacancy if somebody moves out. As long as I get the proper 30 days notice, I should be able to fill that unit. And so far I have been able to do that because it's not very hard to find people for these units when they go vacant. As far as repairs are concerned, yes, those are gonna come up, but so far I've gotten pretty lucky where I haven't had very many repairs at all. And so I haven't accounted for that in my numbers here just because I don't know what that's gonna be. So I'm still setting aside money for when those repairs come up because I know that they will. You know, that's what being a responsible landlord is all about. You have to have money set aside so that when they do come up, I'm not surprised and I don't end up in a bad situation. But I don't account for them in my net cash flow because each month I don't have consistent repairs. When you get to bigger properties, yes, you're gonna have consistent repairs that you're gonna have every single month, and so you need to account for that. But on the smaller properties, you might go 12 months without a single issue, and then you might have $3,000 worth of repairs when somebody moves out, or you have a major breakdown on one of the utility systems or something like that. So like I mentioned, for the purpose of this video, I'm just here to keep it a little bit more simple. All right, enough about cash flow. Let's talk about one of the other major sources of passive income that I collect on every single month. And again, it's still related to these properties. We're talking about mortgage paydown. That's gonna be the fourth source of passive income that I collect on every single month. And although it's just on paper right now, when I go to sell in the future, I'm gonna be able to collect on that. So breaking it down again, on the townhome that I own, I'm currently paying down the mortgage every single month by $207. And that number will increase. If you're familiar with how mortgages are paid, when you make a payment, they're amortized so that you pay most of the interest up front, and as you make each payment, you're paying a little bit more towards the principal every single month. So right now I'm paying it down $207, and as I continue to make payments, by next year, when I make a payment, I'm actually gonna be paying down the mortgage and it's gonna increase. So every time I make a payment, I'll be paying down the loan by, let's say, $214, and then it'll be $216, and then $220, and it'll continue to increase until I pay off the property, I sell the property, or I refinance the loan. And on the second property that I've got, the duplex, I'm paying down the loan by $287 every single time I make a payment. This might seem a little bit lower of a number, but it's because I just barely refinanced it in 2019, so I'm right at the beginning of that amortization schedule, so I haven't been able to build up some of that momentum that you get each time you make a payment. And last but not least, on the final property that I've got, I'm paying down the mortgage by $495 every single time I make a payment. And you know, that just adds to the reason why this is my favorite property. It's the best investment I made, and between the mortgage paydown and how much I'm bringing in cash flow, it's over $2,000 a month. So when you add up the mortgage paydown between all three of these properties, it adds up to $989. It's awesome to see my net worth increase by almost $1,000 every single month by basically doing nothing. You know, all I have to do is make the payments on the loans, which I'm not even paying, it's the tenants paying for it, and my net worth just continues to bump up. You know, it's like ding, 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 ding. Every single time I make a payment, it's going up. This is the true power of investing in real estate. Really quick, guys, if you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot to me. Give me a thumbs up here on the video. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm and helps me reach more people like yourselves who are learning about how to live a more fulfilling life, how to get better with money, and how to start earning passive income so that you can get ahead and live a more fulfilling life. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so, and click that bell so you get notified when I release new videos. If you want to stay up to date on real estate, passive income, finance, and everything else that I talk about here on the channel, you'll want to make sure that you do that. And let's jump into passive income source number 5. All right, so number 5 on our list, I was a little bit hesitant to add this in, but I said, hey, you know, this is mostly passive income, and it's given me the ability to earn a massive amount of income with very little hours actually tied to the work that goes into it. So number 5 on our list is the income that we earn from Airbnb and Vrbo from our short-term rental. Now, this is something that my wife helps me out with, and I'm super grateful for that. Between the time that she puts into this and I put into this, it's such a small amount of time that this is basically still passive. It's such a lucrative business, and I think it's something that everybody should get started with if you've got the opportunity. Over the last 3 months, we've been able to bring in an average income of about $1,233 per month, and that's always fluctuating, right? We've got different fees that we have to pay them. We've got different cleaning fees. Each person pays a little bit different rate, you know, based on whether we're running promotions or discounts or not, how long they stay. So this number kind of fluctuates, but that's about roughly what it is over the past 3 months. So as we get a little bit better at this, we get a little bit more efficient, and we get more reviews and more ratings on our property, we'll expect this to continue to go up. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get close to $2,000 a month just from this short-term rental. Now, the short-term rental did take a little bit of work to get set up in the beginning, but now that it's set up, really all we have to do is message people back and forth when they want to book with us and make sure that the unit is kept clean. So eventually we'll actually outsource the cleaning of the unit. So right now my wife is doing all of the cleaning on the unit, and it's been an absolutely massive help. So I'm so grateful that she's been able to take that on, and I just really appreciate her doing that. And that's where the hours that we're putting into this project are coming from. And so that's why I kind of consider it a little bit semi-passive income. But as I mentioned, when we're earning about $1,200 a month from this for a relatively small amount of time that we're putting into it, that's still pretty dang good passive income. So guys, that wraps up the video here. I hope this was helpful for you in giving you a couple of different ideas about how you can earn passive income in your own life. If you've got questions, comments, anything you want to add to this list, drop it down in the comment section below. Like I mentioned, give me a thumbs up here on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Follow me on Instagram at @UtahRealEstate_, and I'll see you in the next one. Jik. I think I said that right.